In the modern world, we often look for the latest superfood, but the ancient Israelites already had one in their daily rotation: the lentil, or adashim. While wheat and barley provided the staff of life, lentils were the primary source of protein for the common population. This modest legume was more than just a survival staple. It was a symbol of loyalty, mourning, and divine providence that has been cultivated in the land of Israel for thousands of years. The most famous mention of lentils in the Bible occurs in Genesis chapter 25, verses 29 to 34. Esau, returning famished from the field, sells his sacred birthright to his brother Jacob for a pottage of lentils. Jacob gave him bread, and this red stuff, which was likely made from red lentils that, though they cook into a light brown color, were a prized and filling meal. Lentils appear again in 2 Samuel chapter 17, verse 28, listed among the essential provisions brought to King David and his weary troops during Absalom's rebellion. Perhaps most heroically, 2 Samuel chapter 23, verse 11 tells of Shammah, one of David's mighty men, who stood his ground alone in the middle of a field of lentils to defend it against the Philistines. In the biblical social hierarchy, meat was a luxury reserved for festivals, weddings, or the elite. For the average Israelite, the daily diet was overwhelmingly vegetarian. Lentils were the meat of the commoner, providing necessary amino acids and strength. They were also uniquely associated with mourning. In Jewish tradition, the round shape of the lentil symbolizes the cycle of life and death, as the lentil rolls from one person to another. It is said Jacob was cooking that famous stew for his father Isaac, who was mourning the death of Abraham. Lentils were incredibly versatile in the ancient kitchen. Stews and soups, nazid and marak, the most common preparation, often seasoned with onions, garlic, and leeks for flavor. Bread supplement. In Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 9, God instructs the prophet to mix wheat, barley, beans, and lentils into a storage jar to make a nutritionally complete survival bread. Ashishima. These were fried lentil cakes, often dipped in honey. King David is described as distributing these pancakes to the people when the Ark of the Covenant was brought to Jerusalem. The ancient Israelite diet was remarkably functional. Lentils provided roughly 330 to 410 calories per 100 grams. When combined with staple grains like wheat or barley, lentils provided a complete protein source, essential for a population with limited access to meat. They were a powerhouse of dietary fiber and essential minerals like iron and magnesium. How do biblical lentils compare to what we buy today? Ancient farmers might harvest only 30 to 120 kilograms per dunam. Modern agricultural technology has pushed those yields to 350 kilograms or more. Ancient farmers utilized lentils in a 3-year rotation, fallow, legume, wheat, because they realized that while some crops scorched the earth, legumes helped maintain soil health. While the Bible specifically highlights the red lentil of Jacob, archaeology has found broad beans and various lentil types across Iron Age sites. Today we have a global variety of green, black, and brown lentils, though the red lentil remains a staple of Middle Eastern cuisine. The lentil reminds us of the resourcefulness and resilience of the biblical world. It was a food of the commoner that God elevated to the status of a royal provision and a symbol of life's deep cycles. As we are reminded in Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 3, man does not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of the Lord. Whether it was a bowl of Jacob's stew or the bread of Ezekiel, the lentil was a gift that sustained the heart of a nation. Like and subscribe for more deep dives into the archaeology and foods of the Bible.